Where I come from, that is Kisiland in Nyanza. That thing is there, and I don't know if it will ever stop. I'm not sure about it. Because even now, they are having those campaigns. I know people are, like now we are nearing December, that's when those things are being done. They have to.
And what happens there? I mean...
Okay, it comes like, okay, when they are finished school, you see the age mates, they come together, their parents are organized, they bring a doctor, one doctor, who will do all that to all those girls. I think maybe it's using one razor blade, you don't know that's spreading it again, or other diseases too. So it's horrible.
unless the leaders also in those places come up. And like in Ms Island, some of those places where the change from child to adulthood has been transformed in that the girls do not have to be FGM'd, some of them, some in the communities, but it's like they are taken in a stage where they learn some things, how to live as teenagers and stuff, instead of having going through the knife. So unless also our leaders enlighten, and maybe a person who is landed in such a community can stand up and say no to such a thing and bring up like a school or enlighten the community, because people lack information. Basically, it's about information, because if you lack information, not be empowered. If you are not empowered, you still live in the ages where life is like you live in the 10th century and whereas in the 25th century. So for me, I think it's about information. If people are strongly empowered in the information era and they learn that we're in a new era and people get information, where like sometimes I'm surprised you have MPs in different places and that you ask somebody from Turkana and ask you how is Kenya and he's still in Kenya. So people are so isolated, they live in different places, they live in another country.
Somebody from outside, not the politicians, because one of the things they fear to be kicked out of that seat. Oh. And they're all politicians coming from that area are men. There's no woman. Yeah, that's something I know, and I've done such a bit. And I've never heard of a woman standing for those seats or asking for any seat from that area. I've never. Because they believe it's a taboo for a woman to lead a man. You see, it's our culture, that is. But you have to do it. Because I've tried studying that place and it's horrible, my dear. Because, okay, you find when, let's say like me, I go there and start preaching all about we do away with these FGM things and what. I'll be discriminated from the community. They say this girl doesn't know where she came from. She's lost. She went to town and come here with other things that we don't know. She picked this thing from the Mzungu thing. We want our culture back. You see? Mzungu, huh? The white. That's a culture from the white. It's not there. You see? So you have to mobilize people from outside at least to go and talk to them. But you can't get people there to talk for themselves. But like you go and tell those women from there, we should fight this thing out. They won't agree with you because they'll be chased from their homes. For a girl who is not circumcised, she has a name. So she won't like to be called that name as she grows. See? Sure, she has to do what others are doing. That's a problem.
Political goodwill can also help shape the FGM issue and even the gender-based violence. And the only way is for young women to take up the leadership seats come 2012, and that's our core business. We want them to be on the driving seat. And when they're there, we can be their deputies. I'm sure Jadida and the likes of our young ladies, we are ready to pass this information. We are ready to read this document and share. Because I know those politicians, what will happen? They will take up their wives to take these seats. They take up their children to take up these seats. And like what is happening now with Maendeleo Wanawake, one of the biggest organizations of women in the country, is being led by a wife of a minister. You can just imagine where else we have young ladies, brilliant and with all kind of qualities, with leader, qualities that makes of a leader, and they cannot get those seats. it is a call. It's not just, it's a profession, it's a call. Community service, it's a call. So we are very happy about that. We are very happy about our sisters who have brought us visitors. We've been working with them closely, networking in some programs, and I'm sure we continue working together. So we are glad for that, and we are glad to see you. We'll be glad to see you maybe some more times.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I brought this brochure. So Jedida and Robert and Cecilia, as I told you, they are coordinating the chapter here in Kenya.
Sure.
And the idea now is to, because we had a lot of problems with leadership, people fighting each other before, but we are trying to solve all of that now. And the idea is really to strengthen this agenda.
Oh, yeah.
So all organizations that are working with women and sector reproductive health and rights, and especially young people, they are most than welcome to participate in the project. And what we are trying to do now is to prepare for 2011, because there will be a high-level meeting on UNAIDS about HIV and AIDS.
Sure.
Because the commitments that government made to overcome AIDS, in theory, was finished in 2010.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to push everything to the Millennium Development Goals,
Yeah.
but the Millennium Development Goals, they are too limited in terms of indicators.
Yeah.
So we cannot put everything in the Millennium Development agenda. So that's what we are going to focus this year.
Okay.
But also, UNAIDS just launched a plan to face HIV and AIDS among women.
Yeah.
So we are also be preparing a workshop, I think depending on the date, but they are still going through that, but soon, to share the plan with civil society, because as you mentioned, it is very important to read the documents, to take property of the and ownership on that declarations, constitutional laws, etc. Because then you can have a tool to ask governments for improving the policies.